Okay, so we're going to get started here.
All right, guys. It is September 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. So we're going to go over some scary stuff here, but we're going to try to help you out so it doesn't become scary for you, okay? So again, this is a Windows 7 end of life and HAAS webinar, and how to not let your Windows 7 computers bring your business down to a screeching halt. So mentioning again, January 2020 is the end of life, and we're also going to talk about HAAS because we get a lot of questions as far as what is this new business model we're offering, and we'll explain it in greater detail. All right. All right, so as always, my name is Chris Gaffney. I do VP of Sales Business Development for KRS. Sorry for the picture, it's a stupid one. It looks more like a dating website or something, but I replaced that and we kind of kept it because we thought it was funny. The handsome bearded man to my left is the owner and CEO. That's Joseph Kristanowski. Joe?
That's me. Hello, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Okay. So, some things that we're going to cover today. We're going to discuss and review the Windows 7 end of life and what this means for your business come January 14th, 2020, how to upgrade to Windows 10 before the end of life due date and avoid a lot of failures, business interruptions, data compromises, revenue, and you want to avoid all of those things. They're really bad things for businesses. And what is HAAS and how it can save your company thousands of dollars while resolving many problems at the same time. Why the HAAS model may make sense for you, and the reason a ton of our clients have already switched to this model and others are jumping on board every day. So we want to educate you guys on what it could do for you. All right. So at this point, I'm going to hand it off for Joe. He's going to talk about some Windows 7 stuff, and then I'll come back on and we'll talk about some of the HAAS.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Again, I know everyone's busy here, so we'll try to keep this to a minimum. And we also have a really special offer for everyone here. So as long as you guys hang on to the end, we'll provide you the details on this. So definitely stay tuned and take advantage of this nice $100 Amazon gift card. All right. So why are we talking to you about this today? So basically, a lot of businesses are not aware that they're still running on Windows 7, and Windows 7 is expiring at the end of the year. So the end of the year time frame is January 14th, 2020, as Chris mentioned earlier. And basically, we have a model where we can actually save you some money to upgrade all of your software and hardware at the same time. So there's no large out-of-pocket upfront costs. And basically, a lot of business owners are misinformed about Windows 7 and what to expect. So we want to just kind of teach you here on all the different issues that are going on. There's about 82,000 threats that are released every day, actually. And we want you to make sure that you're protected at all times. So running on old software, running on old hardware can be a big security threat. And we just kind of want to avoid that. All right, one of the biggest dangers is your complacency, so don't underestimate that, the importance of it. You want to upgrade your software and your hardware at all times. And again, Chris is going to review the HAAS model, which can actually avoid putting you in this type of situation here. And we're also going to share some details about Windows 7 and how to actually get upgraded to Windows 10. So again, I'm going to go over a quick overview of Windows 7 end of life and what you need to know, and the end is approaching very near. Again, the fourth quarter is approaching within the next couple of weeks here at the end of the month, and then before you know it, the holidays will be here. So you definitely want to get on our calendars very quickly and address this concern before the end of the year. Okay, simply waiting to the end is not a good idea, and we'll go over those details. Again, support will end on January 14th, 2020. It'll leave your home and businesses to be hacked. Again, so this is not just affecting your business, it'll also affect your personal computers. So you definitely want to get in touch with us. I know Chris and I do a pretty decent job at reaching out, leaving you voice messages and emails, and we also have other email campaigns that we blast out to set up some meetings. Just make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities there. Set aside some time where we can actually review all of these issues and concerns. All right, so things to know about end of life. All right, so basically there's not going to be any more patches, updates, or support from Microsoft. And Microsoft actually will provide a limited support only for a certain special case, meaning like if you have some type of an old software that has not yet been supported under Windows 10, Microsoft may allow you to purchase some extended support, is what they call it. So that will be on a limited basis, so don't really plan on that being your way of extending Windows 7. So Windows 7 will not work past Windows January 14, 2020. Okay, so you definitely want to get everything upgraded beforehand and allow us to plan that for you accordingly. Hackers will be able to compromise your systems effortlessly. So again, running on old software is not a good idea. Third-party software like QuickBooks, if you have AutoCAD software, CRM, ERP, any of those software vendors will not support you if you're running on Windows 7. So you definitely want to make sure you're running on the latest. And you may have some computers that are on Windows 7, some that are on Windows 10. Basically, at this point, we have to retire those Windows 7 machines. And if it's old hardware, it may not be compatible. So it's not just as simple of purchase this USB key, plug it in, and it'll automatically upgrade your system. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So you definitely need to purchase like a software license. It's going to be required from Microsoft, and typically that license fee is about $150. And also, your hardware may be old and it might not support Windows 10. So it's not just simple, again, of just buying it, plugging it in, and trying it. And we've actually had some cases where some of our clients have tried to do this on their own and actually have ended up paying twice, because then they were down for a few days. We had to recover their data, try to restore it, and then reinstall their entire operating system. So again, don't let that be a nightmare, and let us take care of that for you. All right, and this is an actual picture from one of our clients that actually got very upset that they tried to do the upgrade on their own. And this is kind of what happened here, is that they took the keyboard and just threw it right through the monitor, okay? This is real.
This is real.
All right, so the solution, obviously, again, it's not just simply buying that software package, plugging in a USB key or CD-ROM drive, and just hitting start and update, okay? Don't do that. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make. So we want you to avoid that from happening. So definitely get in touch with us. Again, Chris and I do a really good job at just leaving you some messages to schedule a meeting or to set up some time to do a review. If you didn't receive those voicemail messages, most likely there's probably an email. If not, we're going to give you a link at the end of this webinar to register, and then we'll be able to go over all of your systems that you have there. All right, so some of the key benefits to upgrading to Windows 10 is you're going to get faster load times. There's multiple desktops. So multiple desktops will actually allow you to see multiple screens at one time, and you can flip back and forth between different programs. So it's a really cool, nifty little tweak that they did in the new system. There's larger memory support, so if you're using AutoCAD or a really intensive spreadsheet, some graphic design programs, or any other ERP systems, they'll be able to leverage the large memory support that's included within Windows 10. There's increased and improved security, compatibility with the latest software, easy to use menu systems, and a faster search engine. So the search engine's very improved, where you can actually search for a file and find it instantly, even if you're looking for a program. It's a lot more intuitive, so it's much more user-friendly than before. All right, so how to actually upgrade to Windows 10 seamlessly? Well, it's basically our HAAS IT upgrade package, all right? So as the little comic or cartoon graphic that we have here from WWE, don't try this at home, all right? And then you say, okay, but 5 minutes later, you take the chair and you hit someone in the head.
That's an actual picture of Joe and I in our Monday meeting.
Yep, that's what happens usually every Monday. Yeah. So don't try that at home, all right? Let us review that for you, and again, we'll come up with the right plan, the right approach. We'll explain everything in detail. We'll make sure that you fully understand how this works. Again, it's not really cut and dry for everyone. The approach is a little differently, so we have to customly review everything for you and provide you those details and results, and we'll do that for you. All right, so this is another thing that we get from some clients. Some feedback is that, oh, there's time, I'll wait, don't worry about it. It's actually the wrong move, and it's probably not a good decision at all for your business. You don't want to wait to the end to actually upgrade, all right? You definitely want to plan accordingly, have all the systems ready to go, see what's compatible, see what's not compatible. Maybe there's hardware that you don't know of that's maybe over 8 or 10 years old, and you thought maybe you just bought it a couple of years ago. And again, it's simply just running an update on it is not going to work, okay? We've been in those situations where we've even attempted it personally because one of our clients was just very hesitant on upgrading an old piece of hardware, and they were very stern with going to upgrade their machine. They wanted us to do it. We tried it, and the end result was it wasn't compatible. We had to recover data, redo their entire system, and it cost more in the long run for them, okay? So give yourself additional time to adjust. There might be even some possible upgrade issues. Maybe there's a possibility that some software may not work, or that there's some custom settings that we have to put in there for you. So at all times, you want to make sure that that you give yourself enough time to adapt to any new changes, okay? And again, like we stressed before, is scheduling is very limited, so we want you to act as soon as possible to avoid any backlog of like licensing, hardware, and other upgrades that we have to do for you. Again, this is affecting the entire world. It's not just New Jersey, not just New York. It's everyone, and including home users too, okay? So home and business, pretty much everyone in the world that has a Windows 7 machine is affected here. So there is going to be a lot of scrambling towards the end of the year. Don't put yourself in that boat, okay? Let us take care of this for you a bit earlier. All right, so what should you do now is review your inventory report. Again, don't worry about the inventory report. We don't want you running around your office and having your end users raise their hand if they have Windows 7 or put their hand down if they don't have it. We already have this report in our systems. We can generate it for you very quickly and efficiently. We can send it to you via email, and we can set up a time to review it and put up a custom game plan to get everything upgraded. You'll be able to check to see which computers are on Windows 7, okay? And again, you're going to want to replace old hardware. So we'll be able to tell you that, hey, this machine's 8 years old. There's no warranty. It's out of production. They don't make this machine anymore. If a part fails on this machine, we have to start scrambling around at eBay and trying to find a used part for your computer. Again, you don't want to put yourself in that boat. You're going to want to definitely upgrade your hardware, and Chris actually will go over our plan that we have with HAAS, and he'll explain HAAS more in detail. Again, you need to upgrade your systems to Windows 10 only if it's compatible. If it's not compatible, you're going to need to replace it. And don't wait to the very end, okay? All right, and I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Chris now. He's going to actually go over HAAS and what that is. Chris?
Okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah, so HAAS, what is it? I get that question asked almost every week now, so I thought it might be a good idea to put it on a webinar and kind of educate our client base as far as what it is and why a lot of our clients are actually switching over to this model. So, what the HAAS are you talking about? If you like these puns, I wrote them. If you hate them, Joe wrote them. So we're going to talk about hardware as a service. Okay, so basically what is HAAS? So it's pretty much our monthly plans that we already offer. However, now it includes new hardware. So HAAS is a new service that we custom design for our clients to help replace outdated technology with new technology while not breaking the bank. Deeply discounted new hardware is available, and all professional install fees are included. So the big fees that you guys would normally pay as far as migration fees, professional services install, those would be included in the plan. Now included in, so again, these are all included in our new IT service plans. Yeah. All right, so why HAAS it? So here's a couple of good reasons as to why this model might work better for you guys. So you're going to get new computers every 3 years. So no more worrying about computers getting old and having to replace them. Every 3 years, we're going to come in, we're going to take them, old computers, we're going to give you new computers, all right? So no more outdated technology. Fixed rate and install fees included, so it's a flat rate. You know exactly what you're paying for. There's no surprises on your bills. It's always the same. No heavy out-of-pocket upfront fees. You guys know as well as anyone, when you buy a server or you have to do a new, like that's a big project. I mean, server installs, professionally installed, anywhere from 10 to 15,000. So this could really help in that case. And it's scalable as your business grows. So they say if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So this is basically a good way to help your business grow and always work more efficiently. And software licensing is included. So in the long run, you will absolutely save a lot of money doing it this way. All right. So HAAS versus purchasing. Okay, so this is a question I get asked, which is better? So here's some bullet points, and we'll talk about why it might be a little bit better for you guys. So HAAS is the lowest cost upfront and fixed rate flat rate. So again, always the same price, always the same, no hidden fees or anything like that. And now there's no need to hold on to aging hardware, because as Joe mentioned, we've had plenty of meetings with possible clients where we'll say, oh, I just bought these computers. And we'll say, well, when did you buy them? They say, oh, like 7 years ago. Well, that's not really just buying them. And as we know, that's kind of way past its expiration date. So this is something that you don't have to worry about if you're doing the HAAS model. Installation fees are included in the program. Computers are much more efficient, less downtime, so that's huge. I mean, a lot of companies don't know how much money they're wasting with downtime until we actually point it out and we show them, and then they're quite shocked. So that's a big benefit of HAAS. And warranties included on all machines and covered with our services, so free replacements if there's any issues. Less employee frustrations and improved company morale. And that's huge too, guys, because again, in a lot of our meetings that we have, we talk to not just the owners or the CEOs, we'll talk to the employees, and the number one thing we always get, Joe, is what? Oh my God, it's a computer, I'm gonna throw it through the window and this and that. So, you know, everyone can relate to that. So we wanna have everybody running on, you know, latest and greatest and having no issues, so, all right. So evolution of technology. So there on the left, we have an old piece of garbage, and the guy died waiting for it to upgrade. So rest in peace to him. And on the right, we have a really nice setup. It looks like a new age setup, dual monitors. No, it's wireless. You got nice speakers. So I think that's the kind of setup that everyone would rather work in. And unfortunately, the picture on the left is a setup that a lot of people get stuck with. So sure, it leads to frustrating.
I think the guy on the right was running Windows 7, wouldn't you say?
He could have been, yeah. He absolutely could have been. All right, so what is the lifespan of hardware? So this is some stuff that a lot of people don't know either, so I thought it might be good to point it out. So the old saying, they don't make them like they used to, absolutely, that goes with technology, because things just don't last with technology. It gets out of date very quickly. So desktop, laptops, they typically have a 3-year lifespan. Workstations are a little bit more. You can get 5 years out of them. Those are more powerful PCs. They do AutoCAD and things of that nature, so you might be able to get more time out of those. Servers are about the same, about 5 years. Good business class firewall, you should get 3 to 5 years out of that, as well as other networking material. You can do 3 to 5 years from that too. And smartphones. So what is, like, every year someone's, I'm getting the new iPhone, or I got to get the new iPhone. Like every year people pretty much replace their phones, and you start to know if you hold your phone for more than 2 years, like you start to notice the battery doesn't charge as fast, it dies quicker, there's more problems, it's slower. So I mean, the same can be said for computers, and you don't really want your staff working with equipment like that. So this is a really good way to get away from all those issues.
Another good point is smartphones, it's worth nothing pretty much after 2 years.
Yeah.
It's paperweight.
You buy it for $1,000, and when you try it, you get nothing for it. You're right. Yeah,
exactly.
It is. And it's the same theory behind laptops and desktops. So.
Yep.
So that'll solve that issue. So how's a good fit for you? So again, this is a question only you can answer, but let me give you some information about it, and then you can kind of decide for yourself. So who has a good fit for? So it would be a good fit for companies that would like to upgrade aging hardware. So if you're a business and you already know, and it's in the back of your mind, and you probably worry about it, like, oh God, I know we got a lot of old stuff. Well, this is a great model for you, because you no longer have to worry about that. As mentioned, we're upgrading you every 3 years with new equipment, so you're constantly working with new equipment. You want a flat rate plan. You don't want to have to worry about big install fees. You don't have to worry about hidden fees. So HAAS is perfect for that. And you want to be on the latest in technology. Why work with old equipment that you know you're going to have frustrations or, you know, possibly be breached? I mean, security is a huge issue in today's day and age, and working with the newest technology will absolutely, you know, help some of those threats. You're looking to scale and grow the business. So as you add more employees, and you know, you can grow with this model as well. And you have a technology-driven CEO. He understands the importance of security. He understands the importance of uptime and, you know, workflow. So these are all people that I think would benefit pretty good from this model that we've developed. All right, and why owning technology no longer makes sense. Again, this is a personal choice. However, if you think about it, it's almost the same. Owning a car versus leasing a car. I mean, which works better for you? I know a lot of people would probably rather just have a new car every 3 years, so they lease. They don't want to have to worry about, normally it's after you pay off a car is what? That's when things start going wrong, right?
Exactly.
The transmission's making a weird noise. Oh my God.
Leaking oil.
Right. Yeah, this has had that motor issue. So that it kind of negates all those problems that you're going to develop. So it's really a personal choice. But I think if you sit down and you actually look at all the money you put in trying to save a car or upgrade it, this and that, by that time you realize you probably could have had a new car every couple of years. So it really just kind of makes sense. And owning a smartphone versus leasing a smartphone, I don't know how many people buy phones anymore, but as mentioned before, I mean, they're expensive. I mean, if you buy a new one, it's anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. I mean, I think phone plans now just come with the phone included, and it's part of your monthly bill. So you're basically leasing that phone, and every year or two, you get a new phone. It makes much more sense than coming out of pocket to pay a huge fee where the phone is pretty much worthless in a year or two. So if you can put it to those terms, that's kind of why we developed this model of HAAS. Right, so how are we housing it? So I get that question a lot too. People say, well, how are you able to do this? Like, I don't really understand, or what's the trick and this and that. There's really no trick. We just have a really good relationship with a really huge distributor that we've been able to form ties through networking. And with them, we're able to pass on the deeply discounted hardware to you guys. We don't really care about the hardware. It's kind of worthless to us. We want to basically give it to you guys, so it makes our job easier to provide services to you with new equipment, and it makes your job easier working with the new equipment. So it's really a win-win situation. And as mentioned, this is not refurbished equipment. This is all brand new equipment. Any of the big models, Dell, Lenovo, Cisco, all the other top brands are available. But limited quantities are available, so first come, first serve. So in some of our meetings, we get that. There is normally a 48-hour time to sign the deal. And that's not a sales pressure tactic on our part. The reason we do that is because that's what they hold us to. Our distributor only has a limited number of equipment. So for instance, let me give you an example. If you need a new server and we spec one out for you, and they have it, but they might only have 5 of them. If it's open to other IT companies as well. So anyone that the distributor works with, it's first come, first serve. If other people buy the 5 and we still didn't get a commitment, we can't order the equipment, we lose the deal. So that's why we put those incentives in, and if we're able to get you guys that equipment at that discounted rate, we wipe out all the install fees as well. It just makes sense for everybody. You guys save a ton on install fees, and we get basically to work with new equipment, so it makes our life easier for our technicians, help desk, and everyone. So it's a good savings all around for everybody, really.
Massive savings.
Right, yeah. Okay, so how's it different? Another HAAS pun. Extension of our services. So again, this is pretty much what we currently do, our proactive monthly services. It's just now we're adding hardware into the mix. So no more delays in upgrades or changing out equipment. You don't know how many meetings Joe and I have had where, they know their equipment is old. They know they need to upgrade it, but they constantly keep trying to push it a little more. Oh, maybe we'll get another couple of months, maybe. And then before you know it, they're breached. They have ransomware. They have the computers die, they're down, they're worried about backup data and stuff like that. So this really takes away all of that. And again, I think we could keep mentioning no more install fees because those fees are huge and they really do add up. And by being able to get the discounted equipment for you guys and waive those, I mean, it really is a huge savings for any of our clients. That's why we've had pretty much a huge number of our clients already switch over to this model that realized they were in need of some equipment. And just really kind of makes sense for a lot of people. So we're trying to educate everyone on it and see if it's right for you. But I think as time goes on, a lot of people will realize that this is just easier and much better, way to work and run an office. All right, so when should I get started, right? That's always the question. When? Well, now. Why wait, right? Why procrastinate? Staff resources are limited. As Joe mentioned, this Windows 7 thing is absolutely gonna, I can tell you right now, people are gonna wait till the last minute. It's not just businesses, it's everyone. So even your home computers and everything, everyone's going to realize at the last minute that they have to upgrade Windows 7. There's going to be computers on back order. There's going to be software that you can't get your hands on. It's going to become kind of a nightmare. So to avoid that, we wanted to do this webinar and let you guys know now, to try to get on the calendar now. Because the stuff that you need later might not be available. You might be down for a while. It could absolutely affect your revenue. We don't want to see that happen to any of our clients or anyone in general. We understand how devastating business interruptions can be to your MRR. We don't want to see you guys in that situation. So please plan ahead to avoid these business interruptions and downtime. All right, so let's talk about how we can proactively get started. So 3 steps to getting started, and the first 2 are free. So step 1, just request an inventory report, okay? So all of our clients, we already have this information for you guys, as Joe mentioned. We have a list as far as what needs upgrading and what doesn't. So all you have to do is email us at info@krsIT.com, and in the subject put inventory report. For everyone that's listening that's not a client of ours, that's a prospect or a vendor partner or anyone, if you want to get this done anyway, we don't have your information on file, obviously, so you can email us still at the same email address, and what we'll do is we'll do a quick network assessment for you guys, and we'll be able to get you guys that information, all right? And then step 2 would be the action plan. So based on what we find is what we're going to need to upgrade or not upgrade. So basically, we're going to take all the information, we're going to go ahead and review it in a proposal, and we'll have a meeting with you guys, and we'll show you this is what you need to do, this is what we can do for you, this is how we can implement it, and that's pretty much it. It's really simple. You guys are more or less passing it off. So we want to make this as easy and painless on everybody as possible. But again, just to stress the time frame, we're entering the last quarter soon, and holidays are approaching, and we know how people are during the holidays, so we highly suggest trying to at least get on the calendar. Let's set a date for it, and we can go from there. All right? And once we do that, at that point, one of 3 things will happen. So option number 1, you like the plan, but you opt to do it yourself and find an alternative option. Hopefully you don't put your keyboard through your monitor like in the other picture. But, you know, we can only lead the horse to water. We can't make them drink. So option 2 is you like the plan and you have to have us implement it and manage it for you. Obviously, that would be best. We would like you to join the KRS family, and we think you'd be very happy with our services. And number 3, you have to do nothing. I mean, that's always the worst option because we've seen it one too many times, Joe and I, and we always get the panic phone call a couple months later. So you're not really doing nothing. You're kind of just delaying the inevitable. Eventually, you're going to have to do this. You can either do it efficiently and less stress, or you can do it in a panic when things are down and you're affecting your business. So we highly suggest not doing option number 3. All right. And the special offer that Joe mentioned before. So yeah, so it's available to everyone who attended the webinar today is a $100 Amazon gift card, just for going through the process with us. So all you have to do is, as mentioned, request your inventory report. Once we put a plan together for you guys, we'll have a meeting, we'll go over it. Whether you choose to move forward with us and work with us or not, that's totally up to you, but you would still receive the Amazon gift card for your time. So it's just our way of saying thanks, basically. All right, and a couple things to know. So as mentioned again, time slots definitely are limited. Please book this before October 16th. Our staff is limited. We have a lot of our clients that are doing these upgrades already, and we have other people inquiring about it. So I know our calendars are going to fill up quick. As mentioned, no obligation to buy or do anything, but I'm going to suggest you at least review our offer and then do something before the deadline, because this is going to affect, like Joe's mentioned, everybody. Home computers, businesses, but businesses is the most important that we're worried about. So, and in parentheses, don't worry, you still get the Amazon gift card. So the money is yours no matter what. We just think it's a good incentive to get you guys to take a look at what could be a serious issue. All right, what to do now? So go to the website and pick a time on your schedule for us to meet. Joe, you could tell them right there.
Windows 7, may you rest in peace. All right, guys, thanks for joining us.
That ends our webinar for today, Friday the 13th. Thank you for all your time, and we hope to hear from everyone soon.
Just go ahead and visit that website, guys, and or you could email us there. Okay, that will actually allow you to schedule a time with us.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, everybody.